All right, let's just jump right in. When you hear the word math, what's the first thing that pops into your head? For a lot of us, it's numbers, equations, maybe some not-so-great memories from algebra class, right? But what if I told you that's just scratching the surface? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and look at what math really is.
I mean, that's the real question, isn't it? What are we actually doing when we're doing math? It turns out it's something way more creative, more intuitive, and honestly, more essential to how the universe works than most of us were ever taught in school.
Because if you boil it all down at its absolute core, mathematics is really about one thing. It's the search for patterns. It's about looking at the beautiful, complicated chaos of the world around us and trying to find the rhythm, the hidden structure, the secret rules that are quietly running the whole show.
And here it is. This is the definition we're going to work with. Math is not just finding those patterns. That's only half the story. The real work, the true adventure, is the relentless pursuit of an explanation for why they even exist. That why, that's where all the magic happens.
You know, this is exactly why mathematicians, the people who live and breathe this stuff, they don't just see it as a rigid science. They often talk about it as an art form. It's got all the logic and rigor of science for sure, but it also has this deeply creative, exploratory spirit you'd find in any art.
So, if math is all about finding patterns, the next logical question is, where do we look for them? And the simple, kind of amazing answer is, well, they're everywhere. I mean, literally everywhere, all around us, all the time, whether we notice them or not.
Think about it on the grandest scale. For thousands of years, people have stared up at the sky and tracked the predictable patterns of the sun, the moon, the stars. That's how we got calendars. It's how we learned to navigate the entire planet.
But it's also in the really small, everyday things. Have you ever organized the books on your shelf by height or by color, or stacked your dishes in a certain way? Yep, that's you. You're instinctively creating a pattern.
And this drive to find and create patterns is so fundamental to being human that it just weaves its way through our daily lives in ways we don't even think about. From the moment you wake up, you're tapping into this way of thinking.
I mean, when you're cooking, you're using ratios. That's a pattern. When you're shopping and trying to figure out a discount, you're calculating a pattern of price reduction. Even something as simple as throwing a ball involves your brain instantly calculating a parabolic arc. It's all just patterns.
But, and this is a really important but, true mathematics pushes us to go a step further. It's not enough to just see these things happening. The whole point is to understand them on a much deeper level.
This slide just lays it out perfectly. It is one thing to observe that the sun rises and sets every single day. That's finding the pattern. It is a whole other level to provide the mathematical explanation for it. The fact that the Earth is a sphere rotating on its axis. That leap, right there, from the what to the why, that is the heart of mathematics.
And here's where it gets really cool. When we as a species actually manage to make that leap, when we don't just find a pattern but truly explain it, the results have literally changed the world. Forever.
Just think about one of the biggest ones in all of human history. For centuries, we watched the planets wander across the night sky in these strange looping patterns. But once they finally developed the math to explain why they moved that way, we unlocked one of the most powerful ideas ever, the theory of gravitation.
And what did that one single explanation get us? Oh, not much. Just the ability to launch your own satellites into perfect orbit, to send people in rockets all the way to the moon, to land rovers on Mars. All of that came from finally understanding the why behind a pattern we'd been watching for thousands of years.
And listen, this isn't just ancient history. This exact same process is happening as we speak in fields like medicine. By identifying and explaining these incredibly complex patterns buried inside our DNA, scientists are coming up with revolutionary ways to diagnose and cure diseases. It's the same principle. Find the pattern, explain the why, and change the world.
Okay, so going to Mars, curing diseases, that's amazing. Absolutely world-changing stuff. But how does this big idea of pattern seeking actually connect to you and me, today?
The truth is, you are doing this all the time. Seriously. Every time you try to make a budget work, every time you cook a meal from a recipe, every time you plan a road trip and figure out gas and mileage, you are using patterns to make smart, practical decisions. You're basically a mathematician in practice, and you didn't even know it. And this way of thinking is, no exaggeration, what holds our entire modern world together. The bridges you drive over stay up because engineers understood patterns of stress and load.
The internet you're using right now exists because of patterns in information theory. And weather forecasts, they are nothing but incredibly complex pattern recognition.
So here's the big takeaway. Math isn't just a subject you take in school. It's a fundamental human activity. It's like a special lens you can use to look at the world. So my final question to you is, if you start looking through this new lens, what pattern will you notice and maybe even try to understand today?